I'm meteorologist Amy Metz, hanging out, just enjoying myself. A nice cool breeze from the north today. It's not coming from the south. That means it's cooler here at the fairgrounds, and we're not alone. So many of us are having highs in the upper 70s. This tornado warning that in the red is where you'd want to take cover, anywhere near Reagan, south of Wilton right now. We would advise taking cover even off toward the east as these storms pass by with 70-mile-per-hour winds and white shield. I was just sent photos of trailers blown over completely, multiple trailers. We had some bits of hail that we were sharing, and luckily that's out of the area, and now just colorful sunsets. So we've been getting these pictures in. I appreciate everybody sharing those with us. And what's on the horizon here? We're going to enjoy a lot of those fair festivities ourselves with you guys.
Certainly are. I've been wondering where the triple digits are so far this summer, and it looks like some of the areas are going to get those soon.
Yeah, I hope you guys are happy.
If you're going to the fair tomorrow, drink plenty of water.
Bringing heavy downpours across most of North Dakota. Now, not everybody's going to get heavy rain as prolonged as the south, but these wind gusts will be passing by, and I'll share that full forecast coming up. These typically are balls of light. They last anywhere from 0.5 to 36 seconds in these documented events. And I know as I was driving, as a child sitting in the back seat looking out the window, driving between a bunch of thunderstorms, I saw something that looked like this, about the size of a basketball. And behind it were trailing arcs of orange. We had a big solar storm, so there's a chance that you can watch this. All of a sudden it's going to blast off. And what that is plasma coming toward us. So plasma from the sun, it can cause aurora only if it has a southward magnetic field. It's looking beautiful outside across North Dakota, but we can see some storms are further off to the west. Williston showing that, Bowman showing that. Otherwise, a lot of clouds and so much activity in Harvey. We were just talking about that in the studio here, that so many people are lined up on each side of the street. Hope you're having fun there. It is nice and warm for today, 82 in Harvey. Otherwise, a lot of 80s across the board, but Bowman, 77. We've continued with Hettinger and southwest North Dakota being cooler and more rainy, and today is no different. That's going to stay the same with where south North Dakota is going to get more of this rain into South Dakota as another low pressure system. Last week we had that going right across the border. This one's a little further to the south. So expect some heavier downpours, but more of those further south, and to include some hail. So we've been talking about this, a slight chance for some strong storms. That would be including some wind gusts. This one here has 50-mile-per-hour winds and penny-size hail. So I'm heading toward the Fort Yates area, most likely a lot of that hail staying just south of that region. And we can get a better look here with our hail tracker. Then in the blue, that one little area, almost an inch wide. So if these do get an inch in diameter or greater, that's when you'll start to hear those severe thunderstorm warnings and seeing that along the screen, the bottom of our screen on other programming. So some lightning and thunder around that area, also heading toward Fort Yates, Linton. But what about Bismarck? Eventually we'll be ending up with getting some of that. We'll talk about that in just a little bit, probably closer to 10 p.m. for Bismarck area. Otherwise, Newtown, Watford City, that light rain is moving across, but it's going to be a little while before you get some thunderstorms, and honestly the stronger thunderstorms in central North Dakota and the south. So as far as the western portion goes, smaller scattered thunderstorms similar to this, even a little bit earlier off further to the west, but those heavier downpours, stronger torrential downpours, eastern North Dakota, and to include south of Bismarck. So even into Wednesday evening, we'll be seeing some more of these scattered thunderstorms. In most cases, you're not going to be seeing rain. You'll see some sun also, but also torrential downpours will be on the horizon or passing overhead at times into Wednesday. By Thursday, we start to see that clearing up and more warm weather. So for now, we'll just bump it down a couple degrees after some of that rain passes. Otherwise, as you're getting the sunshine, temperatures like right now, 84 degrees in Minot, where it has been warmer, and closer to those 70s where it's raining in southwest North Dakota. So wind speeds and mostly out of the south and coming in about 15 miles per hour. We're not going to see a big change there. No huge gusts in the forecast right now immediately. Lows tonight around 50s and 60 degrees for Medina, but mostly those mid and upper 50s. Into tomorrow, another day with some of those low 80s. Out to the southwest, once again a little cooler with some 70s, but Williston seeing temperatures going up toward upper 80s again into the weekend. So by Sunday we really have a big clearing out, a lot of sunny skies. That really starts to come into the picture more so Friday, but winds will calm down. It'll be a really nice weekend to get out. I'll be talking about a meeting I attended today. Now, the state government actually does have a committee for space weather. I'm helping with that right now. So what I shared today, starting off something that is in the news for us, pipelines. It just so happens that people are mitigating these things already. Now, FEMA has had a plan, and North Dakota was the first state to adopt these plans. So putting them into effect, knowing that rapid changes and different space weather events can cause pipeline degradation, we have now moved on to advancing into figuring out how we're going to plan for this stuff and strategize. So what's happening here can even affect our power lines. By sending space weather through the air, we can also have these geomagnetic currents induced. Now, I'll have more on this in detail on kxnet.com, but I did want to show you some of those slides with the sources also here. So what we're getting affected here goes all the way far reaching from the sun to our satellites. We can sometimes get GPS scintillations, meaning that our guidance is not working on our phones. Maybe that's a tractor that you have guided by GPS, or sometimes even radiation hazards. Pregnant people, for instance, and pilots are not supposed to be flying over a certain amount of hours because of the radiation hazards. And those are just a few of those types of space weather events. Here we're looking at many different types, and they get here in different durations that I'll also be explaining on that link, kxnet.com. We'll have that up soon. And in this case, lower latitudes, they don't get the space weather effects like everybody. So North Dakota just so happens to be up in the higher latitudes, and we're planning ahead of time. So Darren here made a good point today. He said that for every dollar that is spent, $6.54 is saved in the long run. So we are looking at these potential impacts, the radiation hazards that can occur, what that can do to our equipment on the ground, to people. And with these new advancements in technology, there's going to be much more that we're learning together. So I'll keep sharing more on town hall meetings because you too can get involved in this planning process.